Bringing Up Bates star Michael Keilen and husband Brandon become foster parents following infertility struggle. I feel like I'm in heaven. For fans of Bringing Up Bates, Michael Keilen has always been a source of gentle grace, quiet strength, and unshakable faith. One of the older daughters of Gil and Kelly Bates, Michael was known for her kind demeanor, her close relationships with her siblings, and her deep desire for a large family of her own. Yet, her journey toward motherhood has taken a long and painful path, filled with silence, tears, prayer, and ultimately, profound joy. Now, after years of longing and heartbreak, Michael and her husband Brandon Keilen have stepped into a new chapter of their lives. The couple recently became foster parents, a milestone that marks not only the expansion of their family, but also a powerful testimony to perseverance and unconditional love. In Michael's own words, "I feel like I'm in heaven." Michael and Brandon married in August 2015, in a beautiful ceremony surrounded by their sprawling, loving families. From the very beginning, their marriage radiated purpose and unity. Brandon, a writer and graphic designer, was thoughtful and devout, often expressing his love for Michael through art, letters, and service. Michael, with her nurturing heart, saw her future in creating a warm, full home, caring for children, and building a life of quiet, steadfast love. In the early years of their marriage, Michael and Brandon stayed relatively private about their fertility struggles. It wasn't until fans began asking questions, as the years passed without pregnancy announcements, that Michael gently opened up about the pain she was experiencing. She revealed that she and Brandon had been trying to conceive for years, had sought medical answers, and had been met with discouraging news. What followed was a season of immense personal challenge. "You grow up with this idea of what life will look like," Michael once shared in an interview. "And when your reality doesn't match your dreams, it's incredibly hard. You wonder if something is wrong with you, if your prayers aren't being heard. But it's in those moments that I really had to choose faith." Throughout this time, the Keilens never stopped believing in the possibility of becoming parents, even if it wasn't through biological means. They quietly considered other options, including adoption and foster care, but waited patiently for the right moment. The road to fostering wasn't instantaneous. It required both emotional readiness and a willingness to surrender control. In the Bates family, adoption and foster care were not unfamiliar topics. Michael's own siblings had expressed interest in foster care, and the family had supported friends and church members through similar journeys. Still, Michael and Brandon knew that the decision to foster had to come from a deeply personal place. It wasn't about filling a void, it was about offering love and stability to children who needed it. For Michael, the desire to mother had always been rooted in nurturing, not in biology. "I've always wanted to be a mom," she said, "not just to have a baby, but to raise a child, to pour love and teaching into someone's life." When they finally began the fostering process, the couple found themselves both excited and overwhelmed. The preparation required training, background checks, home evaluations, and most importantly, a strong, flexible heart. They took it all one step at a time, leaning on each other and their faith. "There were moments where I was scared," Michael admitted. "Scared that I wouldn't be enough, scared of getting too attached, scared of the unknown. But at every step, I felt God reminding me, just love them." The moment they received the call that a child needed placement, everything changed. Michael recalls the moment vividly. "It was late in the day, and we weren't expecting it. We had just finished organizing the bedroom we hoped would be used someday. And then the phone rang. I don't even know how to describe the feeling. There was so much emotion, so much gratitude." The child who arrived at their home, a young girl, whose name and details remain private for protection, instantly transformed the Keilens' world. Michael and Brandon approached the moment with open arms and open hearts. They made space not just physically, but emotionally, for the presence of another soul in their home. The first night, she was nervous. "We all were," Michael shared. but I remember tucking her in and thinking, this is what I was made to do. It wasn't about whether she would be with us forever, it was about showing her, even for a little while, that she is wanted, loved, safe. Since welcoming their first foster child, Michael and Brandon have continued to embrace their roles with humility and care. They've shared small glimpses into their journey through social media carefully, and always with respect for the privacy and dignity of the child in their care. One of the most touching aspects of their story is the way they've approached foster parenting, not as a consolation prize, but as a calling. It's not second best, Michael has emphasized. It's not a backup plan. It's a beautiful, sacred opportunity to love someone in their most vulnerable moment. The Keilens understand the complexity of foster care, the emotional toll, the uncertainty, the challenges of attachment and potential separation, but they remain grounded in their belief that love is never wasted. Every bedtime story, every meal, every hug, it matters, Brandon said in one of their joint interviews. Even if the child is only with us for a season, that season can change their life, and it changes ours too. As expected, the Bates family has been overwhelmingly supportive of Michael and Brandon's fostering journey. Gil and Kelly Jo have long expressed admiration for their daughter's nurturing heart and have stood beside her through years of struggle. Her siblings, many of whom have children of their own, have welcomed the foster child as part of the larger family with open arms. The Keilens often describe their home as full of cousins, laughter, and a lot of love, especially during family gatherings. You can see how happy Michael is now, one of her sisters said in a recent family interview. She's glowing. You can tell this is what she was meant to do. Michael and Brandon's story is one of transformation, not just of circumstance, but of identity. Through years of infertility, they came to understand that parenthood isn't defined by biology, but by love, presence, and intention. In a world that often places emphasis on bloodlines and DNA, the Keilens stand as a powerful reminder that family is built in many ways. Their story challenges the traditional narrative and offers hope to those whose paths to parenthood don't follow a conventional route. Sometimes I think about all the pain we went through, Michael reflected, and I realize it prepared us for this. It made us softer, more patient, more understanding. I wouldn't trade this for anything. While the future remains uncertain, as it often is in foster care, Michael and Brandon are hopeful. They remain open to adoption if the opportunity arises, but are also at peace with the idea of being a loving refuge, even if temporarily. Their journey is far from over, but they walk forward with open hearts, knowing that every child who enters their home brings something sacred with them. We may not be able to change the world, Brandon said, but we can change the world for one child at a time. As Michael rocks her foster child to sleep each night, she's no longer just a woman with a dream deferred, she is a mother in every sense of the word, and in her words, I feel like I'm in heaven. Bringing up Bates, Katie's baby name inspired by One Tree Hill. When it comes to baby names, many parents look for inspiration in a variety of places: family traditions, cultural heritage, religious significance, or even popular culture. For Katie and Jim Bob Duggar, the name they chose for their daughter was steeped in meaning and sparked curiosity among fans of reality television and pop culture alike. But what about other large families who have found themselves in the public eye? The Bates family from Bringing Up Bates, a show that follows the lives of Gil and Kelly Jo Bates and their 19 children, has also drawn attention not just for their unique lifestyle, but also for the names they choose for their kids. In particular, one name has raised eyebrows and prompted questions. Katie. While at first glance, this might seem like a simple, classic name, some viewers have speculated whether the name was inspired by One Tree Hill, a popular teen drama that aired on the WB later, the CW from 2003 to 2007. In this article, we'll explore the connection between the name Katie and One Tree Hill, examine how naming trends are influenced by television and media, and take a closer look at the naming choices within the Bates family. Before diving into the potential connection between the Bates family and One Tree Hill, it's important to understand the cultural impact of the show itself. Created by Mark Schwann, One Tree Hill followed the lives of two half-brothers, Lucas Scott Chad Michael Murray and Nathan Scott James Lafferty, as they navigated high school, basketball, family drama, and complicated relationships in the fictional town of Tree Hill, North Carolina. One of the most beloved characters on the show was Brooke Davis, played by Sophia Bush. Brooke was known for her sharp wit, evolving character arc, and iconic lines like, "I'm not a slut. I'm just looking for one true love." However, another central character was Peyton Sawyer, portrayed by Hilary Burton, whose romantic entanglements with both Lucas and Nathan were a major storyline throughout the series. The show was a staple of early 2000s teen drama and ran for 9 seasons. It became a launching pad for several actors and had a loyal fan base that still exists today. Its influence extended beyond just the screen fashion, music thanks to its memorable soundtrack, and even baby names were affected by the show. Television shows have long influenced baby naming trends, from Friends inspiring the surge in the name Emma after Jennifer Aniston's character gave birth on the show, to Game of Thrones boosting the popularity of Arya and Daenerys. TV has a way of embedding certain names into the collective consciousness. Similarly, One Tree Hill contributed to the rise of several names during its run. Names like Haley, Nathan, Lucas, Peyton, and yes, even Katie, saw increases in usage during the mid-2000s. While none of these names skyrocketed to the top of the Social Security Administration charts, they did see noticeable upticks, especially in regions where the show was particularly popular. This brings us back to the Bates family, and the question at hand, was the name Katie chosen by Gil and Kelly Jo Bates because of One Tree Hill? Katie is one of the older daughters in the Bates family, born in 1994. She is known for being responsible, caring, and deeply involved in helping raise her younger siblings. As one of the more prominent figures on Bringing Up Bates, she has been featured in various storylines involving work, relationships, and personal growth. Her full name is Katie Joy Bates, a beautiful combination of traditional and meaningful names. Joy adds a spiritual and emotional layer, while Katie serves as a diminutive of Catherine, which means pure in Greek. Let's break this down logically. Premiered in 2003, when Katie would have already been around 9 years old. That means the show wouldn't have been a factor in her original naming. However, fans often wonder if later generations in the Bates family were named with TV influences in mind. For example, the name Peyton is quite common now, and was heavily associated with. If any of the younger Bates children had been named Peyton, that would be a clearer case for influence. Similarly, the name Haley from the character Haley James Scott became more popular during the show's run. However, since Katie was born before the show even started, it's unlikely that her name was directly inspired by that. Said, it's possible that fans draw connections between the name and the show due to its popularity at the time the family's later children were born. Another angle to consider is that perhaps the family or someone close to them was a fan of the show, and although Katie's name wasn't chosen because of it, fans may retroactively make the association due to the show's cultural footprint. According to interviews and content shared by the Bates family over the years, the names they choose for their children are often rooted in biblical or familial significance. They tend to favor names that are timeless, easy to pronounce, and carry positive meanings. Katie is a derivative of Catherine, which has origins in Greek and means pure. It's a name that has stood the test of time and has been used across many cultures and generations. The addition of joy to her name suggests a desire to instill happiness and positivity in her life. There's no indication from the family that pop culture played a role in choosing the name Katie. Instead, it seems to align with their overall approach to naming traditional, meaningful, and faith-based. It's natural for viewers to look for connections between real-life personalities and the media they consume. When watching a family like the Bateses, who live such a different lifestyle from the average viewer, it's human nature to try to find familiar touchpoints. Additionally, reality TV audiences often become invested in the personal lives of the cast members and start drawing conclusions based on small details, such as fashion choices, hobbies, or even baby names. Since was such a popular show around the time some of the younger Bates children were born, it's possible that fans began associating certain names with the show, even if there was no direct link. Moreover, in an era of social media and online forums, speculation can spread quickly. A single comment suggesting a possible connection can snowball into a widely accepted theory, even without evidence to support it. To better understand naming patterns in the Bates household, it's helpful to look at other names within the family. These names reflect a blend of tradition, religion, and sometimes slight variations in spelling for uniqueness. None of them appear to be directly pulled from pop culture or television shows, further supporting the idea that the family chooses names with deeper meaning rather than entertainment references. Reality TV families often face scrutiny regarding their parenting decisions, including how they name their children. From the Duggars to the Goslings, names have always been a topic of conversation. Some critics argue that unusual or overly traditional names are signs of eccentricity or control, while others see them as reflections of the family's values and identity. In the case of the Bates family, their naming choices are largely conventional and follow a pattern that emphasizes simplicity and virtue. Unlike some families who use highly unusual spellings or combinations, the Bateses tend to stick with recognizable names that are easy to pronounce and carry positive connotations. This consistency makes it less likely that a name like Katie would have an obscure or pop culture-driven origin. Rather, it fits neatly within the family's established naming style. While the idea that Katie's name might have been inspired by is an intriguing thought for fans of both the show and Bringing Up Bates, there is no concrete evidence to support this theory. Katie was born before the show even premiered, making a direct connection unlikely. Additionally, the Bates family has consistently emphasized faith, tradition, and family history when selecting names for their children. That said, the enduring popularity of, and its impact on baby naming trends, cannot be ignored. Many parents during that era were influenced by the show's characters and storylines, and it's entirely possible that some of the younger generations in the Bates family were named with similar considerations in mind, though not necessarily in Katie's case. Ultimately, while fans may continue to speculate about hidden meanings behind the names in the Bates family, the truth appears to be much simpler. They choose names that reflect their values, beliefs, and hopes for their children's future. Names are powerful. They carry history, meaning, and emotion. Whether inspired by television, religion, family legacy, or personal preference, each name tells a story. In the case of Katie Bates, her name speaks to purity, joy, and the enduring values of her family. While the connection to may be a fun coincidence or a stretch of imagination, it's clear that the Bates family has built a legacy rooted in love, faith, and tradition. Own name at a time. Gil Bates rushed to hospital. What happened? In a shocking and unexpected turn of events, Gil Bates, the well-known reality TV personality from the hit show Bring It on Bates Motel, was recently rushed to the hospital under urgent circumstances. Fans around the world were left stunned when news broke that the beloved patriarch of the Bates family had suffered a sudden medical emergency prompting immediate hospitalization. While details surrounding the incident remain scarce, sources close to the family have confirmed that Gil was admitted to a local hospital in Tennessee after experiencing severe health issues. The exact nature of his condition has not been fully disclosed, but reports suggest he may have had a serious cardiac episode or stroke-like symptoms that required prompt medical attention. The incident reportedly occurred at the Bates family home, where Gil lives with his wife, Kelly Jo Bates, and several of their 15 children. According to insiders, Gil began feeling unwell during the early morning hours, complaining of chest pain and dizziness. Concerned for his well-being, Kelly Jo immediately called emergency services, and paramedics were dispatched within minutes. Eyewitnesses claim the ambulance arrived quickly, and Gil was taken to the nearest medical facility for evaluation. His children, who were present during the chaotic moment, were visibly shaken but tried to stay strong as they prayed for their father's recovery. Family members have since asked for privacy while dealing with the situation. As word of Gil's hospitalization spread, social media platforms erupted with concern and support from fans who grew up watching the Bates family on television. Many took to Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to express their shock and send prayers for Gil's speedy recovery. "Praying so hard for Gil Bates right now," wrote one fan. "He's given us so much joy through the years. Please heal him and give strength to his beautiful family." Another fan posted, "I just heard about Gil. He's such a strong man. I know he'll pull through," sending all the positive vibes his way. Despite the outpouring of love and support, the Bates family has remained relatively quiet on the matter, choosing to keep updates behind closed doors. However, some of the older children, including Zach and Tori, have hinted at the seriousness of the situation through vague posts on their personal pages. Throughout the years, the Bates family has endured numerous challenges, both public and private. From financial struggles to emotional hardships, they've always faced life head-on together. This latest development is no different, and many believe the family's strong faith and unity will play a crucial role in helping them navigate this difficult time. Known for their deep Christian values and unwavering commitment to one another, the Bates have often spoken about how their belief in God helps them overcome even the darkest moments. In past interviews, Gil himself discussed the importance of relying on faith during tough times, stating, "We know that we're never alone. We trust in God's plan, even when things don't make sense." This mindset has undoubtedly been at the forefront of the family's thoughts as they await news about Gil's condition and prognosis. While the uncertainty continues, the family remains hopeful and focused on supporting one another. Although official statements have yet to be released, medical experts speculate that Gil's condition could be related to underlying health issues. At 63 years old, he falls into a demographic more prone to cardiovascular problems, especially if there's a history of heart disease in his family. Some reports suggest Gil may have suffered a heart attack or a transient ischemic attack, which can act as a warning sign for a potential stroke. TIAs occur when blood flow to part of the brain is temporarily blocked, causing symptoms similar to those of a stroke, but typically lasting only a short time. Other possibilities include high blood pressure complications, diabetes-related concerns, or even a severe panic attack that mimicked cardiac distress. Until more information is made public, however, these theories remain speculative. Gil's recent health scare serves as a sobering reminder of the importance of regular checkups and proactive healthcare. Many people lead busy lives and often neglect their health until something goes wrong. For someone like Gil, who has spent years managing a large family and filming reality television, it's easy to see how personal well-being might take a backseat. Experts stress that preventive care is essential, especially for individuals over 50. Routine screenings for cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugar levels can detect early signs of heart disease or diabetes conditions that are often preventable or manageable with proper treatment. Additionally, maintaining a healthy lifestyle through balanced nutrition, regular exercise, and adequate sleep can significantly reduce the risk of chronic illnesses. Stress management techniques such as meditation, journaling, or therapy can also help mitigate long-term health consequences. Since the news broke, former castmates and producers from Bring It On, Bates Motel have reached out to the family offering their support. Many of the show's crew members worked closely with Gil over the years and consider him not just a colleague, but a friend. One producer, who wished to remain anonymous, shared, "Gil has always been a kind-hearted, generous person. Everyone on set loved working with him. Our hearts are with him and his family right now." Fans of the show have also expressed nostalgia for the earlier seasons, reflecting on the impact the series had on their lives. For many, the Bates family represented a unique blend of chaos, humor, and faith that resonated deeply with viewers. At this time, the family has requested continued privacy as they focus on Gil's health and recovery. While the lack of detailed updates has led to speculation and rumors online, fans are encouraged to refrain from spreading misinformation and instead offer their support in a respectful manner. If history has taught us anything about the Bates family, it's that they are resilient, loving, and capable of overcoming adversity. Whatever challenges lie ahead, they will face them together, just as they always have. Gil Bates' hospitalization has undoubtedly sent shockwaves through the hearts of fans and loved ones alike. As the world waits anxiously for further updates, one thing remains clear: the outpouring of love and prayers for Gil and the entire Bates family is immense. Whether Gil is recovering from a temporary setback or facing a longer road to wellness, his family, friends, and supporters stand ready to lift them up. In times of crisis, the power of community, faith, and love becomes even more evident, and for the Bates family, that support system has never been stronger. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Gil and his loved ones during this difficult time. May he continue to receive the best possible care and find strength in the love of his family and the countless fans rooting for his full recovery.